Today I'm going to talk to you about something that is a common topic right now happening in classrooms, and that's got to do with change. There are two groups of people right now. One group of people are actually overwhelmed with change. The market that they're operating in is creating a lot of tension for them. The workplace demands is creating a lot demands out of them. And there are also another group of people that seems to be somewhat oblivious, or perhaps they are looking at things that they are more or less the same, but yet at the same time they're looking at a lot of people around them. They're having a lot of stress. So what is actually happening right now, and a new term, a term that perhaps not new, but it has been around quite some time, is not the term called VUCA, which stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. These are the elements that is right now that describes the world that we are in, right? And what is causing this, what we call VUCA world? One, climate, global, global climate change is impacting all sectors of business, government, and social systems. And technological advancement, uh, the Industrial Revolution brought up by the World Economic Forum is saying that AI and machines are actually able to replace a lot of the work that human beings are doing. So in the next uh, 3 to 4 years, probably it's very possible that millions, 30 to 40 million people around the world might be affected with what we call this technology that's coming, taking over work that traditionally, that for example, truck driving, cashiering, uh, those tasks that's actually not, that's repetitive, will be taken over by machines. And on the political front, we have the situation between what we call US and China. And in the Europe, we have the Brexit. Workplace, we have sometimes four generations: Gen X, Xennial, Millennials, and Gen Z, all working together. On top of that, we have people sometimes in a department, a multinationality happening in the workplace. 7 countries working in one department. And the totality of all this has created a lot of turmoil, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of chaos. And these are the times where people are looking for solutions. People are trying to find, how can I make myself future fit so that I can actually adapt to the change. I can be confident about the future, and being able to do something about it on a daily basis to get oneself ready for the change that's coming. A large part of my work involves coaching people who are in transitions. And when we say transition, it could be anything along the range of people wanting to move to a different career. There's a change in their relationship. There's a change in their family. They want to be able to move their game, their own personal capacity to a different level, or perhaps taking on a new assignment in a different country, or dealing with a new challenge at their workplace, which is completely different from what they are doing right now. So a large part of my work is about working with people like this. And in the common scenario, we have situation. I have personally encountered situation whereby the person is so much locked into their emotion, and they are so, it's almost like the emotion makes their body a lot more rigid. And in those situations when they are locked in, even when I ask what we call a good question, in fact a phenomenal question, uh, which is helping them to trying to help them pull out what we call the answers within, those times when they are actually locked in emotionally and physically, despite the best attempt, best intention, it still does not yield results. So asking intelligent questions is not the, it's not an approach that will work every single time. And it is in this situation that I stumble into what we call the perhaps not stumble, but in somewhat forced me to be able to look for other solutions. And this is where I started to go into exploring things like what we call physical intelligence. How does the body work around being more flexible? Work on things like emotional intelligence. And so it is in this field of work that I found what we call other approaches that can actually make a difference in helping people unlock and find answers within themselves. And in this research into what we call the multiple intelligences, I stumbled into scientific research on the areas of what we call also known as the gut brain, and this was actually work that's done by Flinders University in Australia, only recently in 2018, they found out that actually the stomach has actually got all the nerve endings, neurochemicals of the brain. In essence, it says that the stomach is able to process information independently from the brain. And in the same line, my research also brought me to uncover the work of Heartmath Institute. They spent over the last 20 to 30 years trying to understand how the heart is able to know, how the heart is able to pick up information, and how the heart is able to send information to the brain to be able to get us to help us to understand, become more intuitive about things. So, uh, all this research and information tells us that there is more than one brain inside our nervous system. Inside our nervous system, we have what we call the brain. Then we also have our heart brain and also the gut brain. So this gives rise to my passion or my interest in the area of what we call multiple intelligence, and later on my research in the area of spiritual intelligence. I spent quite a considerable amount of time there, helped me to unlock the idea about uh, adult evolution, and about the evolution of wisdom. And so all this information right now becomes part and parcel of the work that we do and part of the program that we teach, the methodology, the techniques that we teach in our classes. All in all, to be able to help people find answers in a much more virtual way so that they become more aligned and integrated to utilize all their intelligences to face the VUCA world. You and I know that today there's no lacking of information. All you need to do is Google everything, right? Uh, at the same time, knowing information, that doesn't mean change will happen. it, we have to take the next step. That is to be able to give ourselves the experience to be able to take action on the information that we have, and not just take action, but take action in a guided way. Have a structure and a way to be able to validate what you know. And there's something that I find that's recently very relevant to me in my experience, to be able to feel your way into the knowing. That means you are actually in a VUCA world. There are a lot of things are moving and shifting, but able to take what we call uh, surface data or information that are not very clear, but being able to experiment with it until to a point where you feel that the information is now making sense to you, and you are able to integrate that sense into a practical strategy. So, having said that, there's a lot more that I want to say. Um, we hope that this information is sitting right with you, and we invite you to call us, to reach out to us, to have a conversation with us, and so that you are able to kind of like get more information that you need, so that you can take the next step on how to be able to make yourself future fit. Um, in my transformation, NLP is a foundation for all our methodologies. So we invite you to be able to call us, take the action with us, so that you can come and experience the change that you want to see.